I am the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr, and you're watching thevog.net. As you know, right here, Victory Cross Country. As you can see behind me, it's demo days here at Best Buy Polaris in Fort Pierce, Florida. Here with me is DSJR70, who's about to take a test ride. What are your expectations of this bike? And let me preface it by saying, you're coming off of Vegas, you're now riding a Vision. What do you think?
I'm hoping to come somewhere between because I do need another bike to fill up the garage. I'm hoping, I don't know if the windshield's going to be too tall on this thing, but I'm hoping it blocks a lot of the wind and I could use it for a second around town bike.
So you would use this as, and I hate to call it a bar hopper, but pretty much just to go around town as opposed to touring?
Actually, to go shopping and stuff like that. I'll still use the Vegas and the Fiore for the bar hopping.
Now, is today the first day that you've seen these up close?
No, I seen it last week at Volusia Motorsports.
What's your initial impression of the Crossroads?
I like it. It's a sleek-looking bike. Not sure about the pricing of it, but it's a sleek-looking bike. And I really don't like the handlebar setup. That's the first thing that would need to go. There's just too much going on up front, and that was the same problem I had with the Vegas. And I'm shocked that it doesn't have a hydraulic clutch.
Okay, what do you think that's one of the things they did to attempt to keep the price down?
I don't think hydraulic clutches cost all that much, so I'm not sure why they did it unless it's to give the feel of an older style bike.
Now, would you add the cruise control on here?
Probably not, because I'd be using it for around town. I have the Vision to go long distance, and that's really the only time I use the cruise control because my hand starts cramping up.
Well, so far a lot of people have commented about the volume of the bags. What do you think?
They are a decent size. I'm not big on the hard saddlebag because you can't overstuff them like you do a leather saddlebag. And you can't reach into them while you're driving to get your drink out. So I'd rather have the soft ones, to be honest.
Well, I think at that point, I'll leave you here. Now, what we're going to do, Don's going to take his test ride. When he gets back, we're going to see what you think. And I'm looking forward to just a straightforward, honest comparison. So ride safely.
I will.
Well, you know, I'm sure you'll push it just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll try. It depends on what they let me get away with.
Okay, we'll be back in just a moment.
Come back, you know you love it.
Okay, Don, you're back from your ride. What is your initial gut feel of this bike?
Bike is definitely not for me. It's built for somebody at least 2 inches taller than me. For a touring bike, I shouldn't be in a constant leaning position. Didn't really like the gauges. They look cool, but for a touring bike, they need to be a little bit easier to read and cycle through all the different options on there. The other thing I didn't like about it was the kickstand. I have to actually move myself forward in the bike to get the kickstand back because it's out of my reach.
Now, when you say that you're constantly leaning, you mean leaning forward or?
Yeah, you're on a constant leaning forward position. It's almost like a Katana or a Hayabusa style lean for me.
Would that be remedied by, for example, with the Utopia backrest or something to push you forward?
I don't think the backrest will get me forward enough. I think the bars would have to come back really to do it, to get it forward or to get the bars back to me enough.
Well, I know when you originally, before you jumped on the Crossroads, you were thinking that this could be a good around town bike. How's that changed now?
It's definitely not for me for around town. I would rather stick with a Vegas on around town riding. It's lower, the controls are further back towards you, the bars are further back towards you. It makes it a more comfortable bike for around town.
How was the wind protection on this?
It's good up to about 45, 50 miles an hour. After that, I got it up to, I probably shouldn't say, but I got it up over highway speeds. and it's non-existent. My glasses almost flew off going down the road. Yeah, it's definitely set up for somebody a little taller than me, because the wind buffeting back and forth, it was knocking me around.
Okay, you've owned 2 Vegases. You're currently riding a Vision. You still have a Vegas that one of these days we'll get to see when you get it back together. How does this fit in between those 2 models?
For me, it really doesn't fit in at all. This would never be an option for me.
Do you see this as a viable alternative for riders of other brands? For example, if somebody was looking at one of the Harley semi-tour models.
Yeah, I mean, it would replace a Harley Bagger, excellent. It's just there's also a lot of noise on this bike going down the road. I don't know what it is in the front. There's like a whistling that comes through constantly, and it's just not a touring bike.
Well, you know, again, I do appreciate your honest opinion on it. You heard it here first. 2010 Victory Crossroads. Always get the models confused. Are you going to be test riding any other bikes while you're here?
I'm going to sit on the cross country and see if it has the same seating position, and if it does, I'm not. I've rode all the other ones.
DSJR, thank you for the time. For the Vog.net, I'm the Gadget Guru Andy Parr, and I'll see you on the road and online.